Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, that doesn't work. Hi. Good, you're already here. I'm just setting things up. Is there still echo going on? Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to fix it. Do you still hear the echo, Paolo? No, I heard it before here. It's good? Okay. Oh, it was my laptop then. Okay, since I'm trying things out, did you hear me when you saw me? Ha. Okay. No. Okay, going to... Okay, going to check now. If you hear me now, I will continue the stream, otherwise I will just restart it. Okay, so let's get started. I posted something on my YouTube to ask what I should do in this live stream, and there was someone who suggested let's make a black without the use of black. So what I was thinking, let's try to do that, and just let's make my 2020 mix. I don't know if any of you who are here know about the 2020 paint. I made it in the year that we all, were locked in our houses because of COVID. It was quite a bad year. Lots of things happened, and I made a paint named The Memory of 2020. So it's the year 2020, and I made it black, which could be used as a neutralizer. This is the mix, and it's quite a bluish hue, and it's made out of 3 paints. We have phthalo green, we have pyrrole crimson, and phthalo blue. So why did I choose these 3 colors? Well, basically because phthalo green and pyrrole crimson are somewhat opposite of each other. Hi Dan, nice of you to join us. So these are somewhat opposite of each other, and to kind of make that you can make quite a good neutral with these two, but to some extent if you mix this with some pigments, it will either lean green or red. So I added a bit of phthalo blue to the mix to make a quite versatile black mix or neutral mix. And it is an RGB black, yes. I'm doing great, Dan. Thanks. How are you? And again, thanks for joining us. So, I don't know if there's any delay or if the camera's working. Like, I have my phone using as a camera for my plate over here, and webcam of the laptop is filming me right now, so quality won't be as good as this one. So I have a cup of tea. Thanks. Well, I hope you're doing better soon. It's you have some great things going on, and I'm quite excited to see what you're going to launch when you open your shop again. So let's put this right. So let's get to the paint. So it's not only a memory of the year 2020 in how bad that year was for some of us. It's also one of the worst hydrophobic pigments mixes I've ever made. So the name suits the mix. I'm drinking Earl Grey. Actually, always do. Hi, Sandra. So, yes, it's black, and um, just because Sandra's the one who kind of started about it. Yes, it's PR 264, and we are adding some phthalo blue. Can you make it a more neutral black by adding less blue? I actually, this is not an equal mix, so I actually mixed just a tiny bit of blue to it to just balance it out away from the red or green kind of shine it has. Well, that's awfully Dutch of you, lekker. The Dutch way. What's the Dutch way? Oh, grey. Oh, yeah, like just without milk. Yeah, or sugar and sugar. I like it the English way as well, but I prefer this, to be honest. Same as my coffee. There's no milk in my coffee. Like there's no filler in my paint. It's just the pure thing. It's actually not lightly brewed. Yeah. It seems like it. Okay. No. Okay. It's it could be stronger. I agree with you. But I do want to just empathize. This was just boiling water, not the lukewarm water that you see elsewhere. This is just we're using boiling water as well, so don't worry about that. And you're speaking a bit of Dutch. Auch Deutsch. You probably speak more German than I do. I kind of, as soon as I could choose French instead of German, I kind of did that in high school. So let's focus on the paint. Okay, so what you're going to see here on the plate, you see it already. You see the pigments reacting. You can see the Pyrrole Crimson kind of shining through. Yeah. It's not only American. It's like when you're when you take hot water or tea out of a vending machine here in a cafeteria, or in any company or school, it comes out drinkable. It's terrible. Yes, Sergio, welcome. Hi, sorry, didn't see you there. So we are mulling a memory of 2020. This is a paint that I made the 1st of January 2021, and it was kind of a nod to how bad of a year 2020 was for some of us, or most of us. It was a year that everyone kind of experienced on their own, but no one expected it to be like that. So I called this a memory of 2020 because it's a very dark color. It's a black mixed out of a green, blue, and red. So Sandra came with the suggestion on my post on YouTube to mix it black. If I talk to you, let me just do it like this. To mix it black with phthalo green and Pyrrole Crimson. So I have those, and I've used those in my original mix. My original mix is over here. But I added phthalo blue with it as well. And yes, these are all crema pigmenta, and yes, I ticked the box for product placement. I bought these myself, but I love the pigments. So I used blue to balance things out a bit, and I got a lovely neutral-ish black that you can use for shading like any color, because you have some green in it, you have some reds in it, you have some blue in it, but all balanced out in a way that it's quite a good black to use. And you can see on the plate, like you can see the phthalo blue and green, that makes a nice turquoise stripes on the plate over there. Let me just... But you can see the pure crimson as well. Like I said, this is a terribly hydrophobic mix, but I am using my palette knife instead of the Muller technique I talked about in a previous live stream, and in my Indian yellow video as well. Why is that? Because these are very fine but also very sticky and lumping pigments. So they, if I would make a sticky layer around the pigment, what I like to do with hydrophobic paints, and then incorporate my pigment slowly, I will get lumps underneath my muller, and they're very hard to get off that bottom of the muller. So yeah, then 2020 was kind of rough, wasn't it? Still, I think things are starting to get better, but you know, I actually hoped 21 would have been a better year. Not much improvement there. 2022 started weird as well, so obviously during this live I'm going to show you multiple things. I had something in mind, and then Sandra came with the black, and I thought, okay, this is an interesting mix that I can use, especially after the last live stream we had where we made magenta, yellow and cyan with secondaries. So that was an interesting one. But this is it's a complete mess on my plate. Not like I'm making a mess. I'm still keeping it clean here. But if I'm just scraping my plate, it's red. If I'm moving it to the side and, you know, have it a bit in a transparent way, you see green and turquoise over there. If I just, you know, take the reflection of my lamp away, can I do that? Yeah. You can see the blue and turquoise shining through on the plate. So it's really hard to kind of eyeball this pigment. So you need to mull it, and when we're going to mull it, a lot of things happen as well. I'm scraping it and I see some blue over here, but there's red, like pure red, in the middle of my palette knife. That's a funny one. But I actually plan to do other things as well during the live stream. So let's just have a look what we can do tonight. At least for me, it is 9:15. How long is it? A little bit later. But obviously, we will swatch this. I will have a look at it with the spectrometer to see which wavelengths are reflected by this black. And I haven't done that before with this color, so I'm kind of curious myself about that. Welcome back, Paolo. So for those of you who just joined us, we are making a memory of 2020. It's a mix I made back in 2020. I started selling it the 1st of January 2021. It's a mix of a dark red, deep red, a phthalo green and phthalo blue. It looks like a warm purple. Yes, it does. It's not just the camera. It really does. You can see it in the reflection of the muller as well. The camera kind of tries to compensate for it a bit, and it really is. Let me just show you. It really looks like it. I haven't changed the mix. This is still the original mix that I made back then. So really hope this is actually the right one, because I kind of forgot about how weird this mix is and looks. I made a couple of versions. One of them was too brown, but that was like a dirty brownish color. And the other one was way too blue. I had one that I didn't yet use the blue, but on this label, it says the right proportions of the pigment, so I labeled the mix. Should be the right one, but if it isn't, we'll just have a look how it swatches. It looks like, yeah, plummy. That might be the right word. Maybe even the dried plum, maybe. Although it's very shiny on the plate. So I was just checking out how I can kind of improve my lives with adding another camera without investing in stuff. You know, I just really started live, but also YouTube. I've posted a couple of videos now. Did one about prep plate if you want to make from watercolors. I uploaded that yesterday, but basically I just started my YouTube. I had it for a long time, but never did something like really serious with it. I don't want to invest too much in things that really distract me from the core business with still painting. But I do think this is a good addition, and the watercolor classes are something I'm very passionate about. Videos as well, by the way, but that's mostly the same content, or in the same line as the content I've always made for my Instagram account. But Instagram is kind of slowly dying at the moment, in my opinion. I don't know if anyone here feels the same. But I just kind of, I don't know what they're doing there. Just spritz water makes such a difference when milk this. Let's make noise. That's preserves, yeah. Like in real life it's dark. The camera really kind of compensates for the maybe I can get it as dark as it's this dark, like here right now. In real life it's this dark, so if I take my hand away it brightens things up. Hey Nina, welcome back and thanks for joining again. Yeah, I might just stick to the other method I did with streaming live, just with my phone. How come that you speak some German and Dutch, Dan? I'm actually quite curious. No, obviously, I will tell you. So I'm kind of in doubt right now with what is on my plate. Not pigment-wise, I know which pigments are in there. We have Pyrrole Crimson, PR264. We have Phthalo Green, blue shade, PG7. And we have Phthalo Blue, green shade. Did I just mispronounce the other one? Anyway, this is PB 15.3. So yes, and these are all crema pigments, which are very nice to use. Like I said, I tick the box for product placement. Have not been sponsored by them for this video. They did sponsor me for some other videos though, and I'm very thankful for it. But these are all pigments that I use in my regular line of paint. So let's have a look. I'm going to look for some paper, and we're going to switch this where we are right now with this color. Hopefully it'll be the black that I promised you. Should be the one. Hopefully. Let's have a look. So I was actually in need of some new paper. I need to check that one out. Love manganese blue. So let's see. I'm really afraid that this is the, I don't know. I know this was a really unpredictable paint. No, it's not the brown. Yeah, I think this is the warmer version. This is the warmer version. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Well, this is part of making paint as well. So this was my... I really don't know why it's in this jar then. So this was my test. I did add blue to this, but not enough blue, as you can see, because in its mass tone it's really it's almost a full black, but it washes, and especially, you know, when you mix it, it turns to a, it's almost eggplant, I think. But I have to add though, looking at the stream myself as well here, the camera right now, it's way too warm. So I'm not really sure if I can change that. But we're going to make a measurement of this anyway, if it is fully dry. I can imagine it can be a very good color for nighttime desert landscapes. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm just quickly going to see if there is a different bottle of it with the same label, and there really isn't. Nope, there isn't. So back in 2020 I printed black pens for this as well, which only says dirty blue in 2020. But that was a limited time thing because really I like the color that I eventually came up with, which is not this one. But I just, you know, was kind of looking for my way into the handmade watercolor world and what suited me. And you know, a mix like this could work beautifully, but I wanted to focus on single pigments only, so that's what I did back then. Let me have a look if I can find a pen. I might still have a pen of the original batch. Just going to have a quick look. One positive thing about this, it's the only black pen I ever printed, so it'll be quite easy to find. going to look too long for it. Yeah, usually when I record my videos, like regular videos, I can kind of manage to get it right, to get the lighting right, but yeah, right now it's really not working for me. Okay, so I'll just let this dry. And I actually wanted to show you one thing. And while my plate is, you know, still quite dirty, I can make a mess out of things. So what I want to do is I want to show you something that I talked about, what dragon's blood does when it comes in contact with alcohol. So dragon's blood, the pigment NR31. This is dragon's blood. And when it comes in contact with alcohol, it's a resin, so you could say it kind of melts, but it fully dilutes, dissolves, I'm sorry, it fully dissolves in the alcohol. So when I'm adding some drops of alcohol to it, I need to look for a tool that I can use and throw away later. But it's a nice thing about pure alcohol, it dissolves quite quickly, almost immediately. Oh, I can use this one, yeah. So as you can see, what happens here, the resin dissolves in the alcohol. You're left with a very blood-like color, which could be used as an ink, I think. The only disadvantage of this, when it dries, it leaves a coating of resin, so when you use this with a brush, you can only clean that brush with the same pure alcohol. So this is dragon's blood, how it dissolves in alcohol. There's no use to put this on a plate and put binder to this to make watercolors. You can make a lake pigment out of it, or you can, what I do, try to grind it finer with the muller and disperse it into the binder, so you get a textured granulating red. So, but this is just, I think it was last stream I was talking about this. Dragon's blood. Sorry, kind of behind with the chat. 3D printers, they are quite fun, and I think I might have the right mix in front of me. I'm not sure. I'm going to let. This is weird. It's still too dark on camera, or too warm on camera, but it is starting to neutralize while it's drying. So I think this might be the right one. I'm going to clean up my plate so we can swatch it. Let's scoop this into a black pen. Downside with 3D printers, I don't know. Looking at how you say that, Janina, do you have a 3D printer? I guess you do. That's just judging by how you're saying they're so much fun. technically you have one. Please do explain. But does that change whether you have one or not? Obviously, you know, especially in the time we're living in right now. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, sorry, I misread that. Um, 3D printers are really nice. What kind of 3D printer do or did you have, Janina? What kind of 3D printer is your son using? Let me just put it like that. A thesis about 3D printing. Well, it's a very wide area, like 3D printing in general. There are so many ways people implement the technology of 3D printing. So the putting layer on layer, whether it's tissue, like human tissue, or chocolate, apart from, you know, obvious the plastics that I have in my studio here. And Ender 3, and it's now heavily rebuilt. Yeah, as it should be. Ender 3s are, no offense, great 3D printers, but the things that people made for them, the upgrades available as well as the firmware, they can be so much improved in almost any such you know what I want to say. Yeah, the weird thing, Dan, about that is I used a 3D printer, I think now 10 years ago. It's not the very first one, but the very first time I used one is 10 years ago, and everyone thought, okay, between now and like 3 years, everyone has one at home. And you know, if you want to have a very famous example back then was a plastic clip to close a bag of crisps or chips, crisps for you. You can print it, and you know, like 5 minutes later, you have that plastic clip and you can use it. It's not faster than it was 10 years ago, and that's a shame. Well, Ender 3s are great and affordable printers, quite reliable, although you need to put in some work. Well, that's the thing, Dan. I think that's very correctly put of you. You can buy an Ender 3, especially a second-hand version, I think, of people that just don't know what to do with it. There's a lot of them. For I think 150 euros, 100 maybe. And you know, you can, if something is broken, you can fix almost anything on an Ender 3. The problem is the maintenance, so keeping it running and or powering it, depending where you live, how much you pay for energy, and things like that. So that's, you know, a great deal breaker for some of them. almost all the parts I have in my studio that I just don't know where else to, or you know, I can buy some things like little hooks I can hang things on, or you know, small clips or parts, or I try to print them. So I'm planning to sell my paint in a local art supply shop here in the Netherlands, and they asked me to give them a display for the countertop next to the register, and I'm looking into 3D printing it, so you know, it's fully me. Which shop or which printer I have? I can answer both, but well, I print my own pens. I use recycled plastic for that, recycled PLA, which does cost more, I have to be honest with that. But it's recycled, so it's all the scrap PLA, either from the 3D printing industry or other parts where they use the same kind of PLA. And so I have the recycled version of PLA, which I'm quite happy with. But I print my pens, so that saves costs. I sell pens, which you know, makes some income on Etsy. I have one French brand who uses my pens in her line of handmade paint, and she's getting, I don't know, she's getting quite well known, I think, in France. Well, wait, I'll be back in a second. I'm still here though, but I need to take a clean cloth. It used to be a shop that was owned by Gerstacker, so the big German branch, or Great Art in the UK, or forgot the name in France, but they closed all small shops. So Gerstacker bought almost all small art supply shops in the Netherlands, and a couple of years later they decided to just stop with the small ones and only continue with the web shop and the big ones. But luckily someone else bought the small art supply shop in our town, and in Arnhem. So I live in Velp, but in Arnhem there's an art academy. There's loads of art. It's a very artistic city. So that's the only art supply shop we have, and I'm lucky enough to be able to sell my paint there. So that's quite nice. No, it's not Stacy. It's Valérie from Aquarelle de Provence. She sells kind of bio-friendly natural paint, and the packaging is. I went to France a while back, and I went to one of the shops and I saw her paint. Very, very well done. It looks very professional, but also it still looks handmade. The packaging is just, it's amazing. You can look it up on Instagram. And I saw my paint of my pens filled with her paint in a professional, like, large art supply shop, which was really weird kind of moment for me. No, I live in Velp. It's next to Arnhem. So that's clean. Just getting rid of the let's have a look if I can. So it became still warm-ish, and it'll probably show in the wash. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one here. Sorry about that. It is it's a very nice city. Sorry guys, having kind of trouble with finding my library to scan my colors in. Well, let's just look at this another time. So Arnhem is a really nice city. It's quite an old city, but it had a lot of damage in the war. So there's a lot of stuff that has been rebuilt after the war, and to be honest, it's not the prettiest of architecture that we have from that area. So there's quite some good modern architecture at the moment, but everything from the 50s, 60s, kind of, you know, they could have spent some more time on that. You really you need to come to this side of this country if you are here. I live about 5 minutes away from the Bosbank, which is the start of the Veluwe, the largest natural area in our country. It's beautiful. So really, Gelderland is the place to be. Let me have a look. Let me just yeah, I like that too, but now it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. And thanks. Sorry about that. It's frustrating while why it's not working. I mean, I really don't know why I can't make a spectral reading at the moment. I mean, if I do if I do this, it's giving me a warm gray, and I could just actually look at where it would be when we put would be around hue angle 20. Yeah, that's just that's the wrong mix. So hue angle 20 will be around here, and we are at a chroma of 4. So yeah, it's like a warm version of sepia that I just made. So it's not the black that I promised you, sorry about that, but it is a very warm neutral, especially when you're looking here. In its mass tone, it's, let me have a look what it's doing in the mass tone. Yeah, it's reading the same. The only difference that it's making here Here it leans more to the blue side. So the blue shines through wash, but not in the way that I want it. You are expecting Phantom Black. Thank you, Paolo, for the support. Really, it's helpful. Thanks. Yeah, let me just. I'm just going to. I'm just going to do it like this. I'm just going to reinstall it since usually I have so many questions right now, Dan. Usually I should be able to make a beautiful spectral curve with this, but I don't know why this is happening. I have played a bit with the app, but I didn't do anything weird, so let me just have a look. Yeah, I think his cats too. Yeah, I wasn't really suspecting that, you know, he actually has gremlins, though that would be awesome. Right, you have a point. Well, as long as they don't get it right, was it? I don't know. It was. I think it was released after or before I was born. I'm not sure about that, but it has been a while since I saw the content. Oh wow, they changed the app. I am so sorry. Okay, so this is quite weird. Sorry about this. They kind of updated the app. So again, here we are. There's the spectral curve. Let me just put it on the wash. It's kind of okay. I think, I don't know. There's the bump of too much red. Yeah. Anyway, so this is working, but it was just a small. Usually, this was a different option in the app, but now it's just a small arrow to the thing I'm used to. So sorry about that, guys. So what shall we make now? My audio is patchy. Okay, thanks. You know what? I might just. Shall I go live again and just change the app I'm using? Let me have a look if it's like annoying. You know what? I'm just going to do that. Yeah, right, guys. I'll be right back. I'm going live again, but I'm just going to use. So here, I'm just going to use the YouTube app on my phone to go live. That just works better, I think. I'm using a third-party app to do this camera, but apparently, like, the microphone isn't catching really, isn't working that well. it is nearly black. Well, it is quite black, especially in real life, but here it's just too warm, and you see that. Bye, Nina. See you next time. I'm going to log off that and going to turn on my live again here. So for those of you who still want to join, refresh it, and I'll be back in a minute.